Namaste, everyone. I'm going to give you an oracle for April, May, June. I'm calling upon Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael. Call upon Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. I am open, ready, and available to receive guidance that is of the highest vibration of love and light. My intention is clear. My intention is pure. I seek for all messages to be inspiring, empowering, uplifting. I seek for all messages to help everyone who will watch this experience greater creativity, higher prosperity, higher self-love, and to come into the fullness of their freedom, the fullness of their manifestation talent, and come into the fullness of their self-esteem, their self-worth, so that they can make decisions, make changes that are going to bring them greater expansion and victory in all areas of their life. My intention is to provide messages of victory, achievement, triumph, healing, and encouragement. So, channel through me, Holy Spirit. I ask for your help. May you channel through me. May you channel through me, Holy Spirit. Channel through me. What does everyone need to know at this time? What is guidance that can help everyone come into the fullness of their freedom, prosperity, and abundance? Okay. What does everybody need to know most at this time that's most uplifting, elevating, and encouraging? So the first oracle deck I'm using is the Enchanted Map. And then I'm also going to use the Divine Guidance from your angels. So the first card we have is Into the Unknown, the 7. Number 7, Into the Unknown. So as we know, right now on this planet, we're all in the unknown. So this is about having trust, right? Feeling your way forward. Because for a lot of us, this particular event that's happening is really pushing us to develop our intuition, right? Because what is of the past is transforming. The things, the ways, the habits, the behaviors, the self-esteem, the spirituality, everything that's belonging to a past paradigm is being reformed. So what that means is that we're entering into new territories. New territories that our elders, our ancestors haven't experienced, right? And we are the front line. We are the front runners. So what that means is the front runners is that we're pioneers, right? We don't know exactly where this is going to go. We don't know exactly, what's transpiring exactly, right? It's all transformative. It's all transitional. And what that means is that when it's all transformative and transitional, it means that we basically are going to be the creators. You and I, the generation, if you're born in the 70s, 80s, whatever generation you're in, right? You're here at this time because you're creating a new blueprint, right? And this sort of foundation hasn't even been established yet. We haven't even created this sort of framework to this new paradigm of Earth. We haven't even created the framework. We have the imagination. We have the meditation. We have the vision. A lot of us have a vision, right? We can sense it. We can kind of sense where we need to go, right? But we haven't created the frameworks. And this is about into the unknown we go, right? Like great pioneers. And just like imagine, you're a pioneer crossing from Spain, traveling across the Atlantic Ocean, discovering North America. Only the ones who have intuition will survive. The others will go crazy. They'll go insane, right? I'm sure there's many sailors who got crazy, who went crazy, right? They said, I can't find it, and they went crazy. But only the ones who had intuition who would pay attention, really pay attention, were the ones that actually were led, right? Because we were led, you could say Europeans were led to North America as an example, right? Just like we're led to Mars, we're led to the stars, and it's all intuitive, it's all instinctual, right? So into the unknown is also, I'm hearing about, we're having memories of ancient times, and we're having memories of future times. And this time that we're in, the 7, I see it as very much a futurist, right? The 7 is about really evolving beyond the past decisions, behaviors, habits, paradigm, realities that seem all too common, mundane, mediocre, and really starting to feel into realities, feel into areas that maybe our ancestors or the past societies never did, or they couldn't. Maybe it wasn't the time, but it's saying now is the time for us to feel and express and to think in new ways, to have these nuances that maybe no other generation, no other society before us has had for a very long time. So the next card we have, Gentle Garden, the number 2. So the Gentle Garden, you can see in the picture there is an ancestor. You see this ancestor, this elder looking down at these sort of eggs that are hatching, right? These eggs that are hatching. So we're definitely reaping something, and this is very protected by the elders and by the ancestors, definitely. And it's saying by the wisdom and by the support of souls that have been on this planet for a very long time. So, our lineage, our ancestors, the elders, right, who have been around the block, we're actually getting this sort of the sort of education, life lesson we need to actually fully reap these new ideas, or this blueprint, right? We're trying to basically create a blueprint for a new framework for society that older, future generations can build upon. But right now, all of us are in this unknown. It's very mysterious. It's very uncertain. It's very shaky. And the reason it is because in order to really renovate your home, you really do have to tear some things up. You gotta break down walls. You gotta rip up the bathtub. You gotta rip down a wall. You gotta tear down the attic or whatever it is, right? In order to really start to have the view, okay, to bring in the change, right? So the gentle gardener is also saying gardener is like a farmer. It's growing, right? So we're growing, and we're getting life lessons, and the more that we're accepting of these life lessons, instead of like being like stubborn or resistant or like nah, that kind of thing, the more that we're going to feel a lot more nourished, right? When we actually are accepting of our life lessons and actually want to learn from the elders, right? From our elders, when we actually want to learn from our society, we want to learn from our mistakes, our misfortune, rather than complain and be emotionally drained by it, right? So these sort of these eggs, right, they're hatching. So it definitely represents that the hatching is really about the development of our intuition. The developing gardener also has to do with we're developing our senses, right? Because to be a gardener really is to sense, to be instinctual, right? It's a natural. Gardener is a natural thing. You just naturally have this instinct of how to grow. It's actually very unnatural for human beings to not know how to grow anything, right? It's very unnatural for human beings to like dead plants everywhere, right? And the reason we have that kind of, is because it reflects that we ourselves are not taking care of ourselves, right? In many ways, we're not paying attention to ourselves. We're not seeing what we really need. We're being stubborn, we're being resistant. We're not really taking care of ourselves. And then the last card we have magical map shifter. Wow, 52. So this is another 7. So we have 2 7s and a 2. Again, this one is like a magical map shifter. This person is blindfolded as well. So we're doing something, but we're doing it in the dark. We're manifesting, but it's in the dark. It's in the shadows. It's in the secret, right? There's a lot of secrets, manifestation that's going on. There's a lot of spiritual development that's happening in the shadows, right? You can call it the dark night of the soul, but you can also call it the reinvention of you, right? Getting more in touch with your celestial skills and your celestial gifts. Because with this magical map shifter, we can see so much in this man's aura. So much in this man's aura. We can see lifetimes. We can see celestial incarnations, meaning on other planets. And we can see other dimensions of obtained knowledge and experience. And this is saying that a lot of us are, again, during this time and moving forward, especially, into the late summer and the late fall, getting into winter, there's definitely a period where we're definitely going to be getting a lot of sort of like momentum and a lot of major boost. We're going to get a lot of energy from the old generations, the elders, the old souls, the sort of guardians of this planet, to basically bring some things together, right? Bring these ideas together, right? Bring these agreements together, right? Bring these sort of plans into action, bring these ideas into fruition. And it's all happening around us, but we don't even know it, right? Because this man's blindfolded and he doesn't even see this sort of all this new energy, this celestial energy that's coming in, and is coming in because it's actually giving us a new paradigm of creative expression, new paradigm of business strategy, a new paradigm of creative endeavor, right? That's actually going to be a lot more rewarding, because it's going to not only be transformative, transitional for us and for the people, but it's also going to be sort of a way shore, sort of it's going to be a stepping stone in the right direction, right? And a lot of, the elders, the ancestors, they don't want us to be a stepping stone in the wrong direction, because in some ways we chase our tails, in some ways we deny our ancestors, in some ways we are not open to their suggestions, and then we think we know it all, and my way, the highway, that type of thing. And when we're at this point in our life where we realize, man, we do need to pay attention. We do need to start listening to something inside ourselves. We do need to start to be more instinctual, intuitive. We do need to start to pay more attention to our decisions and to our actions and what we're putting out into the world, what we're taking in from the world. We really do not need to start to kind of look around, right? Look inside, because there's a blindfold saying we're really being asked to look inside ourselves at this time moving forward. And the reason we're being asked to look inside ourselves, because there's something that wants to grow that is actually a lot more lucrative than what we were doing before, right? But the gardener is about being nourished. When you have a gardener, a green thumb, it really represents that you are very, very, very well-rounded. You're very respectful, right? To be a gardener, I see a gardener as a very respectful type of archetype of human, right? Very, very respectful to oneself, and also very very heightened senses. A gardener has heightened senses, very heightened senses. So I feel like with the gentle gardener, I feel like it's also saying at this time, allowing things unfold and allowing your gentle heart, the sweetness, the sort of freedom of the heart, freedom of emotions to really prevail. And it's also about letting the playfulness, the new idea is a playfulness, right? Be playful with your movement forward, right? Be sensual with your movement forward, right? Be simple, right? Be simplistic, right? It's tapping into your virtues, your true virtues as a human being, your true character, right? As a human being, which is not, your ego is not your self-esteem. Your ego is not your self-esteem. Right, your sex appeal is not your self-esteem, right? We're going beyond that, looking into your character, looking at your backbone, right? Looking at the virtues that make you very very empowered, make you very stable, to give you a sort of determination, also give you a sense of a sense of completion in your life, right? Which is not something you need to have at 85 years old. It's something that can be so subtle. We're really tapping into the subtlety of ourselves at this time, so that we can start to really, really hone in on these sort of celestial gifts that are really there to instruct us. We're giving instructions on, especially 2021, 2022, about what kind of frequencies do we really need to be putting in our body and putting out into the world. So I'm going to pull some more cards, pull 3 cards from the angels. What else do we need to know about this time as we're moving forward into our what's going on right now, moving forward. And then we have acceptance, reward yourself, and daydream. So acceptance. See yourself and others through the eyes of the angels with unconditional love and acceptance. In this way, you inspire and lift everyone to their highest potential. So acceptance, like I said, acceptance is really having the acceptance for the unknown, the uncertainty. It's about surrendering to the unknown. It's about embracing it. It's about recognizing it as a opportunity to really expand your imagination and really expand your capability to trust in your guides, trust in yourself, and your capability to actually be wise with your time, right? And to actually invite in greater expressions, right? And that doesn't come through those who are just sitting around fearing the unknown. It comes through those who are actually taking what the idea, or taking the subtlety or the simplicity of it, and actually trying to expand upon it, who want to work through the unknown, who actually want to go into the unknown, because that's where something original can be found, right? Right. So it's really wanting to kind of go into new territory that maybe few people are, maybe many people are, right? In order to really find something that's real, something that's actually the stability of the time that is now and moving into the future, rather than deceiving yourself and doing stuff that belongs to a past paradigm that really doesn't give a good representation of what is to come. Right? So if there's anything that we're doing that's creating this sort of future that isn't really sustainable, or isn't really fulfilling, or isn't really expansive for us, it doesn't really give us a character, like a character, not a stoic character, not a robotic character, not a fearful character. That's not a character. I'm talking about character. Character is somebody who has a journey, who's on an adventure, right? Who's a voyager, who's a pioneer. A character is about somebody who has a voice, right? Somebody has a sort of a presence, right? And if that future doesn't give you, whatever it is that we're doing, it's saying to accept, what is, to accept that we're going into the unknown, and actually to pay attention to what we're being led to do, and to actually do it with a sense of, I am becoming a gardener. I've never gardened in my life, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I know that I want to garden, because that's a particular skill that is actually, that's going to make me more of a high quality human being, right? Because it's going to make me more sensual, it's going to make me more sexual, it's going to make me more, they say farmers have a lot more sex than attorneys, right? Because farmers, you're in your body. Farming, growing plants, tomatoes, it makes you more sensual, makes you more sexual, therefore makes you more creative. Therefore, when you are with your intimate loved one, you're a lot more dynamic. You're a lot more, the energy that's coming out of you is actually fulfilled energy, rather than, sort of unstable type of energy. So the gardener is really teaching us, we're reaping, right? Reward yourself is rewarding yourself, right? It's reaping, it's receiving, it's, it's play, it's laughter, it's reward yourself, as in take care of yourself, as in, the ocean behind you. Really listen to your emotions. Feel through them, kind of even them out, kind of accept them, make peace with them, let them teach you something, right? Reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level. So when it comes to receptivity, I feel like it's being receptive to what's growing in you, and know that it's a blessing. Whatever's growing in you is a blessing. Even if at first it feels like a very difficult life lesson, it's actually a blessing. And then magical map shifter has daydream. So daydream is about, your dreams are real. The visions you have are real. This sort of, you are altering your reality. You're transitioning this reality that you're into something that could be more expansive. You're really starting to honor your sort of, your dream of yourself, right? Your vision of yourself, the manifestation, and it's happening. There's a sort of, there's a map that you're following, and there's a blueprint that you're constructing. And the more that you allow these feelings, these dreams, these sort of ideas about yourself, and what's really going to expand you into greater like self-esteem, right? So you can be a more greater creator, right? Be more creative, is you will more easily hear and receive your messages if you daydream regularly. Relax and open your mind to receiving without directing your thoughts. Just notice any feelings, visions, and ideas as if you were watching a movie. This is the seat of creativity. So there's something about receiving, right? A lot of us, we don't necessarily know how to receive, right? And that's, we don't know how to open up the channel, right, of ourselves, because we have this judgment, we have these beliefs, well, that's not my type of thing, or that's not how it's supposed to be, and then we really get out of touch with what wants to come through, right? So it's about letting things come in and letting things go out. So whatever wants to go out, just let it. And really, and the receiving is also about being spacious, being content with yourself, being available to yourself, right? It's about being accepting of the time alone, right? Actually seeing that time alone as an opportunity to really receive energy, creativity from your guides, your ancestors, your soul. So this is the main message that wants to come through. I'll just pull one last card from the map and see what else wants to come through. What else wants to come through for us at this time? What else wants to come through? Then we have mountain. Mountain. The 6, the mountain. It's saying there's a lot of stamina in you. There's a lot of stamina, because the mountain is like it's like when you climb in those stairs, you need a lot of stamina. And it's saying that there's light showing upon the mountain, and that this mountain, I feel like I feel like we're breathing out, right? I feel like we're exhaling these challenges. It's almost like in a final exhale. We're actually exhaling the mountain, the challenge, the obstacle. The saying what's helping us to move through the mountain, the challenge, the obstacle. I feel like we're finally rewarding ourselves by making our lives easier. Making our lives easier by trusting ourselves and actually being intuitive. We're actually making our lives a lot easier by exhaling and surrendering. Because when you exhale, it's almost like your heart doesn't know, like, if you're going to die, right? Because you're out of that breath, so your heart is still pumping, but it's like, where's the oxygen? Where's the oxygen? So your heart surrenders for a moment. When you're exhaling, you hold the exhale, your heart has to surrender, trusting that you will have another inhale. But your heart trusts. That's why your heart doesn't stop beating when you exhale and hold the breath on the exhale. So I feel like a lot of us are exhaling and finally kind of giving up the sort of fear of the unknown, or the sort of I'm hearing also finally coming into what the ancestors and the elders have in store for us, even if it's a little bit, the reward of it isn't what we're used to, or has nothing to do with the past, is everything to do with a more soulful future outcome that actually is going to well nourish us. And actually, as a gardener, like a gardener, we're actually going to see ourselves more content, because we're getting back, we're growing things, we're learning how to grow, we're learning what it means to grow, we're learning what it means to grow in it as like a plant, or as in connection to growing plants. We're finally getting in touch with our ability to be receptive, which is again an exhale where you just let it all out. And you're not so wrapped up, entangled, upset, triggered, judgmental, agitated. You become a lot more spacious, receptive, and actually available to learning new things. So one last card. Okay, this card came up. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. This is the one card. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. The leader for us is our desire to be content and complete. That's the leadership, is finding it within ourselves, the participation that is of contentment and completion, where like a tree you have the balance of both the ascending energy, which is feeling elevated in your spirituality, and feel the descending energy, which is feeling satisfied with your life force and everything that you are and everything that you're becoming, and your self-esteem. That makes you this contentment and this kind of completion, right? To really feel the ascension of your spirituality. the growth of your backbone, your integrity, and also feeling the roots, which is the descending, and feeling your self-esteem is actually well integrated in virtues that actually are quite affirming and very nourishing for you. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. And Satnam.